Welcome to DIY Raj. This is my first attempt at channel. Right here we have a 1949 Farmall C. It was my grandfather's, who passed away in 1990. After he passed away, my grandmother gave my father his tractor, this Farmall here, and our family, my dad and I, uncles, brother, restored it in the mid-90s, and we used it for probably about 8 years until sadly we parked it underneath a pine tree, and it sat there until I'd say March last year. The motor is free. I tested that in October of 2021 just by removing the spark plugs and putting ATF down each cylinder, let it sit for a day. I was able to turn the fan by hand and the pistons moved freely, so I think we're still good there. I haven't tested it since. After I did that, I did cover it with a tarp as it continued to sit outside from October 21 till I believe the end of February of last year, 2022, when I moved it into a garage storage unit. It sat there until about August last year, until we moved into this house. So a couple things. I do know that the gas tank is leaking in two places. It's the brackets where it mounts to the tractor. So my first order of business was getting a new tank, which is what is in this box. And I want to test the fluids to see if there's any water. Not really test, but just check to make sure there's no fluids in the tanks. It looks like through the grill, I took some detailed pictures the other day, that there is a lot of rust at the base of the radiator. I don't know if it's the actual radiator or if it's the support, but the goal today is to hopefully get the grill off and just see what's going on back there. I don't have high hopes. It looks like the bolts are semi-rusted, pretty rusted. I did have the hood off the other day to take a couple pictures, so I'll take that off too. And once I get set up here, see what happens. Okay, the first order of business is getting this hood off of here. It's kind of tricky with the 12-volt conversion alternator. Well, actually that came off quite easily. I guess it's putting it back on is the hard part. At least on this one in particular. I know it's a little cluttered in here. Once I'm able to get the gas tank off, I will probably end up pulling this. I got to remove the deck. There's a woods deck on here that I got to take off still. Take that off, get the gas tank off, and I will probably end up moving this into the garage under the house. I have a lot more light in there. Plus I could keep it a little warmer. I have access to all of my tools. So that's what we're going to do, hopefully. And yeah, let's see what we can get into here. All the remnants from sitting under a pine tree. It was protected from the elements for the most part, but it still got hit with them. So here we go. I'll try it on this side first. All right, the first bolt loosened up very, very easily, which really surprises me. I really don't know which order is best to do this, but that one loosened very easily too. This is already going too smoothly, so I expect to run into quite a few issues. getting a few different impact guns to hopefully make this a little easier. Getting the bolts on and off. I do have some PB blaster ready. Hope I'm not going to have to use it, but when do projects ever go smoothly? So I know I'm probably going to have to use some of that. I have no idea what this project is going to entail, but we'll be sure to find out. And my goal is to document it. So hopefully it should all be out there for other people to see. Maybe it could provide some help or ideas on what not to do. But we'll see. I had this off the other day, the radiator cap, and it looks pretty cruddy in there. This is the first, minus the hood, first piece that's been removed from this tractor, and probably since, like I said, 1997. And falling out is nothing but remnants of pine trees. I got some pine needles up top here, but I got some pine needles underneath. Inside of this looks fairly good though. I haven't moved this to see about the base here, but it seems to be in okay condition. I think we can work with that. That shouldn't be a problem. Okay, got the grill off. For those of you familiar with these tractors, sometimes the grills get pretty beat up. I know paint-wise, this one's not in the best condition anymore, but the grill's pretty straight. I know my dad, my uncle, my dad told me that they did straighten some of these out, but I feel like it turned out pretty good. Looks pretty decent. There's a bump here, but I may fix that, may not. It's really hard to work in this confined area, so it'll be nice when I'm able to have a little bit more room. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the radiator, I don't know, being honest, I really don't know what the inside of this thing, what kind of shape it could be in, if I could somehow flush it, reuse it, but it looks down here like it's just the structure, and maybe there's no actual coolant tank integrity issues from what I can see. Bring you in a little closer so you can see too. I don't really know what to show here, but as you can see, there's some rust, pretty good rust around there. I don't know if that could be salvaged or not. May be able to. I know my dad had this repaired once, so I don't know what exactly it looked like before or what was done. I mean, we got some issues here. And again, the rest of the radiator itself, I mean, the fins are straight. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do with this, so I'll probably hop on forum and take a couple pictures, get some ideas, some thoughts. But that was my goal today, was just to get the grill off here and just see what we are working with as far as the radiator. I'm just trying to slowly start to get pieces to see exactly what I'm going to need to get this thing running again. I said clean the fluids before, or check the fluids, but really what I want to do is just make sure I get the oil out of here, get some fresh oil in. There are a couple other things. I'm not familiar with it yet. I haven't read up on it that much. There are a couple things I asked about on one of the forums that they suggested to open a couple of the drain plugs, make sure you drain out any water that could potentially be in there. So that'll probably be the next, well, I don't know if that'll be the next thing I do because it's kind of hard to get to, as you can see. It'll probably be easier if I got the deck off of this thing right now, before I got involved too much in this. I could probably set it outside, throw a tarp over it, probably be okay. As you can see, run out of room in here. So, but yeah, that's guess that's not what I expected. I expected to see a lot worse. Again, I'm expecting to run into way more issues, so we'll see what happens here. It looks like the throttle may be stuck. Is that the throttle? Sorry, got a deck cat who is setting off my Ring camera on my back porch there. But yeah, it looks like that could be seized up. I know I tried messing with the throttle. It didn't seem to want to move. So it's probably something else. Well, we'll see. Well, that's all I think I'm going to film for today. And we'll catch you next time on DIY Raj.